Just in case you haven't watched the flurry of promotional YouTube videos, Zelos have recently launched a Worldtimer. Yay! It's got everything your average watch enthusiast wants: exotic dials, bitchin' lume, and of course a rotating bezel. It then makes absolute sense that today's video will be about a Worldtimer that has none of those. This is Lesablier Travelgraph. Lesablier might sound French, but the brand was founded exactly 7 years ago in Washington, D.C. What's really interesting is that unlike most other American microbrands, Lesablier are more than just a dropshipping business with an American P.O. box address, as they build their watches just outside Washington, D.C. Looking at their roster, Lesablier stand out from the crowd by being one of the very few established microbrands that don't offer a diver, and that in itself is a sign that they care more about their own vision than about selling out. Akbar Sadar, Lesablier's owner, is fully aware that the watches he designs are not for everybody, but I can assure you that those that buy into his vision are in for more than just getting unique timepieces, but becoming members of a community that's well looked after. Starting with their second model, Lesablier's focus has been on refining their dodecagonal bezel execution and integration, and the result of this approach is spectacular. The Travelgraph looks as upscale as any watch out there, as the intricacy of its design is finally completed by a more compact form, resulting in a fantastic wearing experience. By getting rid of the vintage Zenith Defy inspired pseudo cushion case, this model's curvaceous lugs give it an organic shape that provides gracious contrast to the angular bezel and keep its footprint at a very modest 40 by 44 mm, making it accessible for wrists of many sizes. The dramatic lug taper is greatly complemented by the equally dramatic tapering of the bracelet. Looked at from the profile, the watch is clearly divided into 3 distinct volumes, with the elegant midsection slightly overpowered by the imposing bezel. The exhibition caseback adds a couple of millimeters of bulk, but considering it offers a view to the rather unusual caliber and a spectacular custom rotor, and taking into account the overall thickness is still kept at under 13 millimeters, I will give it a pass. Finally, the dodecagonal bezel might not look as refined as Christopher Ward's 12, but a closer look reveals it actually sits atop a polished ring that enhances its height and might be justified by what happens on its dial. Because no matter how eye-catching this case might be, the dial of the Travelgraph is equally intricate. And intricate should be, as we're talking about what I believe to be the first microbrand Worldtimer with a daylight savings correction scale that will enable its owner to correctly read the time in 24 time zones any day of the year. But more on that later. For now, it's important to note there will be a couple of changes to this prototype for the production model, most notably a simplified and better executed logo, a slightly larger font for the cities, and a better AR coating application. I would have liked the minute hand to be slightly longer, but wearing the watch I can assure you there's no risk in mistaking it for the hour hand. The cutout to the 24 hours disc does a great job of separating the large rehaut from the well-defined center plate, where applied baton markers are connected by a perfectly proportioned minute track. Another change to the prototype shown here will be the clasp. As much as I love the seamless integration of the butterfly clasp, I can of course understand function should prevail over form, but since this is the section of the review dedicated to design, I can only applaud the consistency shown by this prototype. Much is said about the ever-increasing quality of Chinese manufacture, to the extent that less scrupulous reviewers and customers will be quick to compare a Saint Martin to a Rolex. Having reviewed a fair share of microbrand watches manufactured in China, I can say an overwhelming majority don't hold a candle to how great this American-made watch looks and feels. This watch is as well finished as a Monta, which in turn are as well finished as any under $10,000 watch. Polishing is spectacular, but what's really top-notch is the satin brushing. The transitions are flawless, and this is one of the most comfortable bracelets I had on my wrist. Certainly punching way above its price point, this one. As the application of both the BGW9 Superluminova and the anti-reflective coating will be better on the production version, I will not dwell too much on them or on the base materials that have become microbrand standards, 360 stainless steel and sapphire crystals, but it's still worth noting BGW9 was applied on the 24 hours disc too. What sets this watch apart from most watches on the market though is the caliber used, and what sets Travelgraph apart from all other watches using this caliber is the way Lesablier have integrated it. This is a Traveler GMT Miyota 9075 caliber. Contrary to the technically and conceptually inferior Seiko NH34 GMT movement, this one allows for independently setting the local time, which means the home time can be tracked in a 24 hours format. This is why Travelgraph's owner will only have to set their home time once. With the crown in the second position, the caliber will hack and the 24 hours disc can be moved to indicate the accurate time in the owner's home time zone. In my case, I live in Athens time zone and time is 2 AM. I can now tell accurate time in 23 other time zones at a glance. Should I travel, for example, to Hong Kong, all I need to do is pull the crown to the first position and independently set the hour hand to the local time zone, while the 24 hours disc will still show me the time in the other time zones. This is one watch I will definitely miss wearing on my 19cm wrist. Not only is it beautiful and versatile, it's been my go-to watch for the past couple of weeks, primarily for how comfortable it wore. And the key aspect here is I wore the watch in plus 35 Celsius weather without sweating and without having any hairs pulled. To emphasize just how great this wears on its bracelet, I only found out about a minor flaw today while wrapping up shooting for this review. The holes for the spring bar are drilled too close to the head of the watch to use regular straps. I couldn't fit any standard straps, so be advised you would need to use curved spring bars should you want to take the watch off its bracelet. Lesablier also promised they are working on some leather straps, so keep an eye out. Coming back to how great this watch wears on this bracelet, the on-the-fly micro-adjustable clasp Lesablier will offer on the production model will not only guarantee a perfect fit, but I reckon will also provide better balance as the watch is at the moment just a little top-heavy. I have also found out that legibility is heavily impacted by how much light is in the room, as it takes just a shadow to stop being able to read the 24 hours timescale, but I have to remind you, improvements to this prototype will address this issue with better AR coating and larger fonts. Before rounding up this video, I have an announcement to make concerning the winners of the Quasar giveaway. As participants are undoubtedly aware, every comment that qualified on both Facebook and Instagram was assigned a number. I then picked a winner for each using the random number generator, and comment 8 won the Instagram watch, while comment 3 won the Facebook contest. Winners have a week to contact me by email. Congratulations! So, is the Travelgraph a watch worth buying? Absolutely. This one's one of those unicorns that have it all. A great concept, an extremely useful complication, an original design complemented by flawless execution, and a brand that really cares about their customers. It's rare that a prototype feels so refined, and the improvements Lesablier will make feel like premium perks for already spoiled customers. This is not a watch for the masses, and I'm glad it's not.